at what you got me. Tell me what you want, babe, and you'll get it. Look at what you got me. Don't forget it. Tell me what you want, babe, and you'll get it. Look at what you got me. Don't forget it. Tell me what you want, babe, and you'll get it. Look at what you got me. Don't forget it, 'cause I can give you what you need. I'll be your fantasy. I got you. Tell me what you want, babe, then come get it. Tell me what you want, babe.
Salute, this is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. We are live today and we're talking about nothing's free, buddy boy. There's a price for networking. There is a price for being in the network or being in, it's a price to pay. What's wrong? It's the wrong thing. What's going on, Wave? There is a price to pay. And I think a lot of people got it all twisted because they think that they can get everything in their life for free. And I'm here to tell you what's going on, Shantae. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, you missed. Yeah, I'm glad to see you back. Good to see you back, Shantae. Satia. So let me say this. Good to see you, Wade. Let me say this. Most people think that in life that everybody's supposed to give them something. Everybody's supposed to spoon feed them. They're supposed to come out with a silver spoon in their mouth and they don't have to pay the price for anything. I'm here to I'm here to dismantle that. And we're talking about the power of network. There is a price to pay. If you're looking for the easy road, if you're looking for government cheese, this is not the place to be. This is where you have to realize that there is a price to pay to be a part of a network. On any level, there is a price. You can't just sashay into a network and think that there isn't a price. If you go to a business network in your local area, they're normally going to charge you something, or somebody's paying the price on some end. Most people, they want all the perks of the network, but they do not want to pay a price. And many times we think the price is in our pockets, but it's much more than that. I'm telling you, this is the reason why a lot of people do not want to work together, because of their own selfishness and entitlement. Selfishness and entitlement that think that, hey, I was born today, you need to just give me this. You were not entitled to be a part of certain networks. I don't care how smooth you are. I don't know how well you talk. I don't care now to even just sort of banter what I said yesterday. I don't care who knows you. You got to be able to pay the price. And most people don't want to pay the price for what they want in their lives. And that's why they settle for second class average, they're coach on the airplane, sitting by the toilet. They're sitting in coach on the airplane of life, sitting by the toilet. While everybody get up to go use the bathroom, they open the door, you got to smell it. Because you do not want to pay the price to network to where you need to be at. There is a price that you have to pay, I have to pay, every individual has to pay. Problem is, everybody wants something for free and no one wants to pay for it. No one wants to pay for it. Everyone wants to say, hey, just give it to me, hook me up. We need to get out of this whole hook me up spirit. Tell me, hey, hook me up, give me this, give me that. If I can explain how many times I've seen people I call it a hook me up, brother, hook me up, sister, hook me up, instead of just paying. One thing my father taught me, I used to cut my father's hair when I was a kid. He would pay me. Well, I was in my in my early 20s. I would come over to his house and cut his hair. He would not leave without paying me or giving me something, because he realized he was getting a convenience that he couldn't get anywhere at the barbershop. And it was a time for me and him to bond. So all this hook me up, I don't want to just let me in. It doesn't work like that. Now let's go to the negative side, because most people don't want to talk about the negative side when it comes to power of networking and that there's a price. You cannot enter into a particular gang without you paying the price. I don't care who you are. All these rappers, all of a sudden, they want to be down with a particular West Coast gang. They didn't pay the price to get inside of the gang. They didn't pay the price to be inside of that particular gang. But they want to claim that set. They want to claim that particular neighborhood, and they want to claim that particular group of people who paid the price to be in it. There is a price that everyone has to pay to be a part of whatever type of network there is. What we're seeing now, and I'm watching it, a lot of men are exiting their, how can I say this? A lot of men have decided, say, you know what, sisters, women, you don't want to be a part of my network. We are going our own way. You don't want to pay the price to be a part of us. We're going somewhere else. And what is happening is, it's a shock to the systems of women who says, what? You do not want to bow down and do what I say do? You don't want to agree to the things I say? And men are saying, no, either you pay the price or you got to go. Either you pay the price or you got to go. And what's happening is, as they're talking about the great resignation, as far as within the job arena, there's a great resignation from people in relationships and networking together. Because one party or the other party do not want to pay the price so that they can collaborate together and cooperate. So men are saying, forget this. You know what? You don't, this is what you don't want to do. It's no problem. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fuss with you. I'm not going to debate with you. I'm going to go a different way. And what's happening, I'm telling you, I'm watching it. And the first thing that happens when you begin to tackle this particular not paying the price because of entitlement, it's just one thing. I'm going to guilt you. What's going on, Hannibal? I'm going to shame you. I'm going to make you feel bad. I'm going to use ad hominems to push you to try because I don't want to pay the price. I'm using that because I want everybody to see it in the relationship side of it, how it works. See, we're supposed to network together with men and women, and everybody get together and DNA pass to the next generation. But what happens is men have finally stood up and had a voice and say, hey, I ain't going for all that. I'm sorry, I ain't going for that. Either you pay the price or it ain't gonna be nice. Men have decided, and I don't know why I'm saying this, maybe somebody needs to hear this. Men have to say, you know what? We're not going that direction. I don't care what they told you at your job. I don't care what your mama and your cousin told you. Guess what? This is the direction I'm going on. If you want to go with me, this is what we're going to do. And it's time for a lot of men to step up and say, this is how my network is going to be. What we have is, and I don't know why I'm bringing this up, we have a lot of men who are orbiting women that they don't want or they dream about wanting, and it don't serve them. So it's important, and this is all ties into paying the price in the network. You got to realize, in order to be with me or to be in this network, you have to pay a price. In order to pledge a particular fraternity, you can just not come in. You could just come in and sign the paperwork and take the test. But your respect level is different from those who went through something to get inside of this network. Two different things. You can go in the paper route. You can sign the papers. You can sign it. You can take the test. You can learn the handshake. You can learn the secret sayings, what you need to say. But guess what? The amount of respect that you get from those who went through something, who paid a price to be in that particular fraternity or sorority, is completely different. And the problem is a lot of people do not want to pay the price for the things that they want and the network that they want to be in. So the first thing you course is going to be very honest. The first thing, this is the first thing. The first thing, there is a price of money. It will cost you MONEYCASH. It will cost you cash, money, moolah, whatever you want to call it, wherever you at. You're going to have to pay a price to be a part of a certain network. Think of it. I don't care who you are, how much you think you slick, and how much you know, and who knows you. You got to pay a price to be in the right network. When they begin to, you think with those in the church, you can't just come in and say, I'm going to be a bishop. No, you got to pay a price. There's vestments that you give. There's rings. There's certain schooling that you got to give. There is a price. What we have is we got this hookup spirit, and everybody don't want to pay the price, but they want the network. Because if you would say in the church arena, if you're in the network of bishops, guess what? There's certain privileges that you couldn't get at just being a layman. Same thing in a fraternity. In your particular fraternity, or you in a particular, say you in the Masons or whatever the case may be, there's particular perks for being in part of that network that you don't get from being out of there. And that is the problem, because most people want the information, the perks from it, but they don't want to pay the price to get the perks. This is something that we cannot overlook, because we can talk about network and things like that, and we're seeing it. That's why, if you look at it, if you be honest, this is the reason why certain networks are flimsy, fall apart, people turn on each other. It's because no one paid the price. Let me say that again. This is the reason why certain networks, whether good or bad, crime, whatever the case may be, flip out on each other, is because somebody came in because they knew their cousin and they let them in, or they knew their family member, or this and that, and no one paid a price to actually be in this network. And what happens is their entitlement becomes sickening, and it becomes a poison to the network. They're poison. It becomes poisonous to the network, because you would think you're entitled to everything else that everyone else has, but you have not paid a price. We watch it all the time. If we look at the mob, or we look at the mafia, we realize some people, you got to be a made man. You may not be a made man, but you do work for the mafia, but you don't have the same privileges as a made man. See, we get this all mixed up, and we think that there's not a price that you have to pay. And the first price you got to pay is with your money. The next price you got to pay is with your attention. You got to pay with your attention. You cannot get in certain networks if you're not paying attention. They can say certain things, they can give you certain, sure will. I will do that, Shanti. They will give you certain things, but if you're not part of the right network, they're gonna, because you don't pay attention. I give an example. Me and Shantia, we grew up in the same neighborhood. I was further down, she was in another neighborhood. I can go to her neighborhood, but if I go around and everybody recognizes me, hey, there goes Lawrence, hey, what's going on? But what I had to do, because I paid attention when I was a kid, I can rattle off names of people who may not be in that neighborhood anymore, and things that have happened in that neighborhood that we lived in that only those up there would know, because I paid attention. There's certain parties that happen. There's certain people who used to live up there that if I say it to Shantia right now, hey, you know so-and-so, what is she going to say? Oh, Lawrence paid attention. He knows what's going on up here where we used to live, part of this network. And so because I was part of that network, or friends or people that grew up together, I get access that most people wouldn't get if they lived in another neighborhood from where we lived at. I can say to Shantia right now, do you know about Greenlight Shopping Center? Yep. As soon as we say Greenlight Shopping Center, automatically she's going to think swimming, swings, park, everything. They did it over. There was a Fazio's right there. Why? Because I paid attention and I was part of that network of kids who went to Greenlight Shopping Center and went swimming behind Fazio's. Please, people, see, everybody wants this for free, but they don't want to pay a price. Price, you got to pay with money, and you got to pay for what? And open pantry, and right across from open pantry was what? Convenience store. It's a price, and there was a Mr. Donuts right there on the corner. Pay attention. See, most people don't pay attention, so they don't value or they don't get the things out of the network that they should. So I paid a price financially. Second of all, I paid attention. This is the thing. This is in the 48 laws of power, so I need y'all to pay attention. When you're in the network, the first thing you need to know is find out who's in charge. Find out who is how does learn the culture of that network. Learn the culture of that network. See, most people don't want to do that. So you want to get into the network. You didn't pay the price. I'm in here. What's up, y'all? Hey, what's going on? What we do? No, you need to know. You need to learn the culture of that particular network because that's part of you paying the price. Certain things you do in this, if you're in a network of motorcycle clubs, there's certain things that you got to do. You got to know about certain patches. You got to wear certain things. You don't cross this particular. We friends with this motorcycle club, but we ain't friends with that one. You got to know why that happened. You got to know your history. Why? Because it's a network. They can tell what kind of patch you have on, who you're involved with. They can tell by a certain thing that you say that you know you're a part of this network. I promise you, you got to pay a price. But you got to know the ecosystem inside of that network. Who's running this? Who does everyone report to? Where do they go? How do they involve? What do they do? Most people don't do that. They get into a network and they don't pay the price to shut their mouth. Shut their mouth. They want to get in there and start running at their mouth. They want to show off who they are instead of the first thing. What you really need to do is be quiet. Don't say nothing. Observe. Pay attention. Listen to who's the one in control. Who got the money? Who's really making a decision? Because the president might be the president, but the real person making the decision is not the president. You got to pay attention when you get in certain networks. When I'm on certain networks inside of YouTube with different content creators, I sit and watch who organizes it, who puts it together, who says what, who does this, and who does that. Then I know how to gear my questions, my answers, and what I do at the right person and not at the wrong person. Gotta know. See, everybody want this. I want a free game. Show me how to do it. I want it this way. No, it ain't gonna work that way. This is why people fail, is because they don't know how to listen when you come into what? The right network. Correct. You can train yourself doing this throughout the day. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you. And you got to realize, once you know how the mechanics of that particular network, the history of that network, why they do what they need to do. I think of a guy, his name is Miguel Wilson down in Atlanta. He has a suit shop in Atlanta and DC and in Miami, DC, and Atlanta. 3 different locations. Annually, he rides horses. So he has a polo outing. Do you think just any Blow Joe can go to his particular polo outing? No. Can any woman just come there? No. Know who can come there? It's by invitation only. And there, even with that invitation only, there are certain stipulations to be a part of that network. You cannot be coming there talking crazy, doing this, got your gun on you, you about to shoot somebody, you about to fight, because that's not the type of network this is. And when you go to a shop, he treats you like gold. Why? Because that's the network, or that's the image he's portraying. I'm telling you, this is amazing. For those who need to know, people can outrun the strangest things, right? Telling you, you got to know what's going on inside of this network. Now, we could go to the dark side, LDA of the dark, but I'm trying to be cool about it with the LDA of the dark. What's going on? I could go to the LDA of the dark, even on some underground or what's the what's the word I'm looking for? Underworld situations. You can't get part of that network unless you get an invite. You cannot get a part of that particular underworld network unless you get an invite. And for the men, it's normally by a woman. And then you are told certain stipulations of what you can do in that network, underworld network. And I'm talking about, if you're paying attention, if I said LD after dark, I'm talking about things you do behind closed doors with other people or another person. You cannot even get an invite to that particular, into that world without an invite, and normally by a woman. She's going to tell you, "Are you alpha macho man? You ain't gonna tell me nothing. I got this." She's going to tell you what you need to do, how you need to handle yourself, and what you cannot do to violate any of the rules of this underworld life. It's a network. Whoa. Let me back this up, because I got something I got to say. Once you get into this place, one of the other biggest rules, because there's a price to pay. I said listen, but this is the other side of listening. You got to, if you're in that particular space, you got to know about discretion. You cannot, if you're in a particular fraternity and right, you don't end up in some underground dungeon, right? You got to know discretion. That means shut your big mouth. There's a price. And I'm not even telling all the things about what goes in the underworld. But there's a price. The price is you got to know discretion. You cannot give the secret grip out for a particular fraternity or the secret things of a particular network. You give certain secret things up, guess what's going to happen? You can be excommunicated or cut off out of that network. Thank you, Ramsey. Good to see you, brother. My business partner is a member of the Harvard Club, a very selective on who invites and where we go. Thank you. Thank you. That's why I'm saying there's a price. And guess what? Your price is your ability to shut your mouth, discretion, not tell everything. We were over at so-and-so and we did this. And she, your boss was at the club where we were at. She said she was at work. No, she was at the club with us. We were doing ABC. Why? Guess what's going to happen? It gets around that you are the weakest link and we need to get rid of you. You can't pay the price of shutting your mouth. There's been certain places and certain organizations that I've been in that, guess what? You cannot disclose where it is, how you got there, and how you got back. You're all right. Some people don't know about the underworld. Yeah, they don't know about the underworld. So guess what? Loose lips gonna get you. They say loose lips sink ships. Your loose lip is going to sink your ship. And guess what? You just paid the what? Price. promise you, I've seen it. I've seen a particular individual, and I'm not going to say the organization, talking too much about what he took an oath. This person took an oath to be in this particular network. Got the running in his mouth. Guess what they did? Peace out. Because he was running his mouth too much. He was taking information and running it and trying to use it on his own. Guess what the dude is now? And this is real talk. Now I'm trying to talk real cold about what I'm talking about. The person is going to jail because he ran his mouth, because he thought he was big. He can do better by himself than with the network. You got to understand, networks is a price to pay. You pay with you got to pay some cash, and you got to realize you're going to pay with your ass sits. You're going to have to pay with your attention. You got to pay to listen, and you got to pay. You will have to pay with your ability to be discreet. Your ability to be discreet. Your ability to shut your mouth. When you know information inside of that network that you took an oath with, guess what? You cannot say a word. Now, my brother said a good thing, and I like it. This is something I want to highlight. Something here. I'm very selective of who's invited where we go. Let me say something real, very important about the price of this thing right here. Because we didn't talk about it, but it's very important that I say this. And this is the price. The price is this. Every network has a selection process that you must go through in order to enter. Let me say that is. There is a selection process, a price that you have to pay, that you must get into, you must pay to get into this network. They may look at your schooling, they may look at who your mama is, or your cousin is, your mother, who your certain connections that you have, connections and protection, but they're going to look, this is the thing. The price is selection. Do you meet the criteria that they are looking for you to be in this network? Do you meet the criteria that they are looking for to be in this network? And let me bring it up again. I'm going to bring it up. So all these people say, oh, the network fell, Kevin Samuels and blah, 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 blah. No. When someone talks like, oh, the network failed Kevin Samuels and he didn't do what's going on, True Sabbath. It didn't work for him. No. When a person talks like that, please understand they are the uninitiated. They are the uninitiated, and normally they do it like this. I'm a part of the network, so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the network. The network is they bad. They failed Kevin. They failed everybody. They didn't help out. That's what happens. Facts. I'm part of the biggest black real estate development network in New York. Big money, very exclusive, and the rules are clear. Thank you. Your authenticity must be verified before you can be accepted. Thank you. See, no, you should let me in because I look good. You should let me in because I know kitty cat a bit. No. You can't just get in. You have to go through a selection process, and you must be, and most people don't like this word, and I said it just a few minutes ago, you must be initiated. The initiation doesn't mean that you're going to get paddled or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but there is an initiation process, and there is a due process, and then there is a waiting period to watch you. That is the price you have to pay. And I want to tell the psychological side of it that is it's crazy. That's crazy. You want me to share that psychological part of it? It's crazy. I got a story about the psychological part of paying the price. But there is a process you have to go through, price you have to pay to say, hey, you didn't choose us. We chose you. Let me say that again. You did not choose us. We chose you to be a part of our organization because we seen value in you. You thought you chose the organization or the network or whatever it be? No. We chose you. Thank you. All gold must go through the fire. All diamonds must be cut. Thank you. This is the price that you, as men, you need to pay. This brother, you giving it all, man, right there. You got to prove yourself to get into any network of value, period. Brother, please tell them. Because they didn't get me. They ain't hearing me. There is a price. But everybody wants a silver spoon. Everybody wants a cookie, a muffin, and a roll, and just let me in. Let me tell you the psychological side of paying a price. When you pay a price to get in a particular organization and you continue to pay that price or network, guess what happens? You by human nature become more loyal to that particular network or group or whatever it is. Let me say that again. When you pay a price, mentally, spiritually, financially, neglect or whatever, to get in a particular group or network and you pay it, your loyalty and your agreement to stick into that particular network becomes even more deeper inside of your psyche because you paid a price. See, the thing of it is, those who don't pay a price to get in particular networks or whatever the case may be, don't have the same level of loyalty. There was a test that was done on a group of young college kids. And it was very simple. And I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. They wanted to start a book group. And the book group that they wanted to start was just for people to come together and read a book. So they put flyers out on all through campus. Come join the group, come join our reading group, and we're going to discuss a book every month. Everybody's like, okay, whatever. Oh, okay. They noticed that not many people came to the group, to the book group, and it was just a small nucleus of people that came. So the psychologists said, let's try a different experiment and do something another way. So what they did was the same group, same college campus, they put another flyer out there. They put stipulations on joining the group. As simple as you got to bring a cup of coffee. You got to bring 2 books that you have read previously already or something else. When they did that, the people who joined the group, the number of people in the group expanded expeditiously. Thank you, T.I. I got to get him saying that on here on the soundbite. Expanded. Why? People value a network that they have to pay or do something to be in it. They didn't value it when it was free and anybody else can be in it. They wanted to be in something that was selective, so that was not for exclusive, was the actual word I'm looking for. That is exclusive. So they ran this test. This test is not just on a college campus. This happens in the jungles of Africa. The boys go through initiation before they even told that they can be men to be a part of the network of men. They sleep in the valley of death. That's what it's called. They sleep in the valley of death. If they can make it through there, they can come back to the tribe and get all rights to be a man, And now if we were to take what I'm saying, these two examples, we can see why the men have not been through nothing to be selected or to be the select men. So while all the people, first let me talk about the men talking about, ain't no high, these high value man. What are you talking about a high value man? A high value man. There's a price. There's an initiation. There is a process to be a high value man. To the women who complain about men who are high value men. Well, he ain't all that. He's probably got a little thing and this and this and this and this and that. You don't want to pay the price to stand next to that high value man. So guess what he does? Whether you like it or not, you are ignored. You don't want to pay the price. If a man paid a price to be a high value man, to have a certain dollar amount in his bank account, to have certain freedoms, why would he deal on a continuous basis with a woman who doesn't know the price that he paid to be in this particular club called high value? But because of entitlement, I belong to, oh my God, I should get the man I want. I should be.
Execute Order 66.
I should get the man I want. They should just like me because I'm just cool. No, I'm just doing this. No. You will ruin his whole plan, things he's doing. The boys must first die so the men can live. That's a good, I like that. Shout out to you. Let me get this is a good one right here. The key to getting to a network is to give. I gave into the group. I'm now involved in the 80 million. I'm involved in 80 million in real estate deals, negotiating 10 million capital raise, and working with Black elites on a real estate. Come on. If he was to come up here, he would tell you it was not easy. And the reason why it was not easy is because he had to shed the mindset of those, and I'm going to get to the key thing he said there, around him of where he used to be. And the first thing he said was this: the key to getting into a network is to give. You cannot be stingy and think that you're going to get into a network and not give. Only the cheap Dorito eating, puppy child eating, crybaby is going to say, I should be in this group because I am who I am. What do you have to give? There is always a price. There is always a price. When I wanted to be a part of NBNA, National Black Accountants, guess what? There was a price I had to pay, a monthly fee. I had to show up to meetings. I had to go there. There was a price I had to pay. And what people who are in the group are looking, whether that you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, is the conversation that's going on around you while they're sipping their coffee or sipping their drink, cocktail or glass of wine, did they pay the price? They're smiling your face. Oh, you enjoying this? Okay, great. How's everything? Good, fine. Thank you. Good, Mr. Parker. Great job. Did you pay the price? Okay. So because you did not pay the price, the amount of information that you're going to get is going to be limited. And let me say this. Let me say that because it's so powerful with network. This is so powerful with networks. While you think you can do it by yourself, you will get at least a mile down the road. But if you have a group or a network that you're part of, you can touch the moon. See, we miss this, especially in the Black community. I got this all by myself. I can do this. I don't need nobody. I don't trust nobody. I can do it. Ding bong. Ding, 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 ding. Guess what's going to happen? You're only going to go a mile down the road. While if you had a group of people of like-minded and constantly growing, you can travel to the moon and back. I promise you. I promise you. But are you willing as a man, because this is a man's channel, unapologetically a man's channel that women come and listen, are you willing to pay the price to be a part of a network that can take you to the next level? When I gave the example of a particular individual, and this ties into what he said, people were clowning this individual because he spent $10,000 out at a particular restaurant, club, or wherever it was, and he was spending. He bought bottle service, he's enjoying, he's passing drinks, he's giving, but they didn't see the politicians, the police chief, different people around him who are part of the network that say, hey, we see what you're doing. You willing to give back to you. I gave the example yesterday. Tommy, what is his name? Lucchese. I said when he moved into a particular community, what did he do? He made sure he took care of his neighbors. They knew if he moved into the neighborhood, they were protected. That's how we need to work. I'm telling you. This dude, you come on. You confirmed this week I left a meeting for an invite to an event that has long political and monetary ties. Bing bong. Wait a minute. Let's dissect that because y'all don't see the price he paid. He left a meeting. Particular meeting, probably going to get him a certain amount of money. But he had vision to see if I go to this event, it can render me money for years to come with the network and the connections that I have. That's why I just wonder what some of these YouTubians be saying and Facebookians be talking about when they're not part of any network. I sat on a particular committee for 2 to 3 years at my particular job. I did some things. I have some input. I went out there and talked to the public. Why? To connect with people who thought different from me, who have greater scope than me, and to have that, y'all better catch this, the price I paid. To have that on my resume that I served on the committee. I was a committee member. committee member. I wasn't just there opening up the doors and unfolded the tables, not saying something wrong in there. I was at the committee table making decisions. Help making decisions. That's the difference. That's the price you have to pay. So don't tell me that you can do it by yourself. You don't need anybody. Baby boy, baby girl, you are shooting yourself in the foot by thinking that you don't have to pay a price to be in a particular network. I promise you. Same thing in spiritual network, church network, whatever kind of network. There's a network. As much as people talk about, I hate denominations, I'm going non-denominational, it's still a network. I ain't gonna be a part of no church, organized church. I'm gonna do it my own. You still part of some kind of network. People are so funny. They don't realize, well, this church do this and that church. It's still a network. You're still part of a network. And if that church becomes non-denominational, guess what's going to happen? They're going to find another group of people that believes the same way they do. And another group of people. Guess what they do? They start another what? A network of churches who believe the same way they do, because they realize the power is not in one, but the power is in many. And there is a price that the one has to pay in order to have many. Let me say this, because this is powerful for those who are in a church or any organization. Let me say this. You got to be so strategic and realize that it ain't about you. It's about growing those around you inside of the network. So you have to pay the price to not allow your what? To not allow your ego to get in the way from stopping you from moving forward and helping other people. Thank you so much. This is right here. It's the key right here. This the thing. Shout out, rest in peace, KS. Kevin Samuel said, life is about people. I wish more people would get that. It's about people. And let me say this, it ain't about this phone, it ain't about this internet, it's about the people that you can connect with. Who can you connect with? Where can you shut your mouth? Where can you listen? Let me say another thing. I remember I watched this good movie. It's about a black guy who wanted to be a part of, and I can't think of the particular term of it, but he wanted to be a wine taster. And his father had a barbecue joint, but he wanted to be part of he wanted to be part of this exclusive group of individuals who can call out any kind of wine, where it's from, what country, and things like that. His father first said, you need to work at the barbecue joint because this is where we get our money, and this is the family tradition I want you to carry on. But his son had a vision inside of him that I can't think of what it's called, what the term is called, but he wanted to be a wine connoisseur, just say for lack of terms. So he ended up going, and then the money drew up. And so he had to drop out. He made connections with people who didn't look like him, for all y'all people who with colorism issues. Then finally, his father seen his passion and is willing to pay the price. He says, son, if you are that serious about being this particular wine connoisseur, I'm going to pay for you to finish getting this particular, to be in this particular organization. And I think it's a degree, whatever it is, to be a part of. It was a great movie. And guess what happened? Son broke down because he did everything he could do to be a part of this, and it seemingly couldn't work. And his father came and redeemed and got him in there. He ended up getting that and traveling around the world. He can smell and taste any kind of wine and tell you where it is from, what kind of grape, when it was this and what year, this and that. because he realized he wanted to be a part of a select group, a network of people that are not a lot of people were involved in. But him being black on top of that, made him an oddity, but it made him an anomaly too. So let me say it another way. Him being in that particular group made him stand out. And it also made him more of a person that appreciated it. What's going on, Joe Blast? Appreciated what he was in. Worked for it 4 years in the personal development and life coaching in the Black community. The main thing I learned is that it takes families and community to accomplish your purpose. Correct. So like in the story, like a story I'm telling you about the man who wanted to be a wine connoisseur, and it's not what it's called. It was his father who was first fighting against him doing that because he wanted to work at the rib shack that they started. But it was his father to realize that his son had a passion to do something different, to change the trajectory of his life and his family life. And once his father seen the passion in his son's eyes, once the father seen the hunger in the son's eye, that he realized, I need to pay the price so that my son, who has already paid the price, can enter into another network that my particular rib shack here in Tennessee, we're not going to ever meet. That's what makes the difference from those who stay the same and those who pay the price to be a part of a network that changes their name. That's what makes the difference. If you are stuck on what the black woman ain't doing, what the women ain't doing, and crying about that, you're missing out on life. You are missing out on life. And it's a doggone shame that you are not willing to pay the price. Let me back up. Something just hit me right quick. You better get this, because I know there's some women that you're watching. If you ladies want to find that husband, you need to pay the price to be in a network of women who have successful track records to teach you some skill sets to get a husband, but to maintain a husband.
Execute Order 66.
Let me say that again. I see the numbers went down when I said that. I love it. You need to get some charm school, etiquette school, somewhere to show you how to be a lady, because you've been taught all this time how to be the man. You've been taught to be independent. You've been paying the price to be the man and wonder why you can't get a man. Pay the price to be the woman, to be sexy, to be cooperative, to be regal, to be all those things that these men that you say you want that are high value are looking for. How many women are going to pay the price to get into a network of women who teach you how to wait to be seated down, to be seated? You just didn't go into a restaurant and like, I don't know what they're talking about over here, but I know I'm hungry. You know to eat from what side. You know where to eat what fork you use for your dessert. Are you going to pay the price to be in a network of women? Not hussies, not those pretending, but those who actually groom you to be a wife for a man that you really want. There is a price to pay. Now, I get it on the men all the time, but I got to get on the women head today. Are you ladies willing to pay the price to be in that network? There's certain things that they do that you're not going to do out on the street. There's certain things that they're going to do. Guess what? To protect, and I heard my shout out to Pimp Guy, to protect what? Their king. She will go down in flames so that she protect her king. You talk about you want to be a queen. I need to bring this book out. Many of these women who said, I'm a queen, I can do all this, you better recognize I'm a queen. Guess what? You have not been groomed to be a queen, because guess what? The queen needs to protect her king. Learn how to be feminine in service to men. Come on. Thank you. Adults only. Learn you. Who has taught you, since all these queens are out here, because we talk about the Power Network, who has given you the initiation on how to be a queen? Or have you queened yourself and think everyone needs to bow down to you, even your man? That is the reason why you're unsatisfied. That is the reason why you're not happy. That is the reason why some of your hair is falling out. That is the reason why some of you have issues with weight. Some reason why your thyroids are messing up, because you're in the wrong position. You cannot be the man. There can be no king, two kings, and talking about there's a kingdom. Where do you pay the price in the right network, charm school, grooming school, to be the right woman for a particular man that you want? Who has taught you? Or have you been groomed? Or have you been groomed to walk around like a man? Yeah, what's up, cuz? I can't deal with no woman talking about give me some grip. That song, the song that I'm listening to right now is called Pimp God. See, ain't that something? The universe is talking. Who has taught you how to be a woman? That doesn't take away from you. There's a price to be a part of the network. You want to be in a network of a husband? Are you willing to pay the price? Keep your hair together. Keep yourself together. You go out, you always exhibit grace. You're not arguing in front of you out in public and you want to fist fight him. I was at Danielle, we was at the same event. I was at the Asian Festival. I was sitting there eating some noodles and an egg roll. And I had some mango drink, and I'm sitting at the wooden table in a wooden church, on one of them old wooden church chairs. And I look at this guy and his girl and his wife, it was his wife, and they're waiting in line. He looked at me and I looked at him. His wife said, listen, I don't want no wings. And I told you that I didn't want none of that. I want stuff that's over there. He looked at me. I looked at him. And I said, in my mind, I said, you going to allow her to talk to you like that in public? She walked away and grabbed him. Thank you. Shout out to China White. She walked away and said, listen, we're going to get these wings right now. He went over there and I noticed immediately his balls was in her purse. It was nothing this man can ever say to me after that. I'm like, bro, I'm just like, wow. Wow. You allowed her to not want to say disrespect, but to emasculate you. You could have said, listen, we're going to stand in line right here. When we done here, we're going to get the wings. Or you could have said, bro, guess what you need to do? You go over there and wait in line. I'm over here. We meet back at this table. But no, she looked at me and she looked at him and she snatched his balls right in front of me. Snatched it. I cringed as I twirled the noodles around my white fork and like, I'm glad it was him and not me. Glad it was him and not me. Who's trained this woman? That's not what you do to your husband in public. Where is the price that she needs to pay? It's asinine to me. Bruh, went on a date with a sister who was a Wall Street attorney. She started an argument in public. I left her and never hit her back. Training.
Execute Order 66.
I'm telling you, it was crazy. And I bit into that egg roll and it was like, this doesn't make any sense. You say, what does this have to do with the Power Network? It has everything to do with the Power Network or the price of being in a network. Apparently, there was no price paid because the network that they had was dysfunctional. And this dude was a nice looking man. And he looked at me. I said, man, your balls have been put into a purse. And I left, finished my noodles and egg roll, and I walked around. It started to rain. Then I went down to another little place and got some dessert called Mangoes, and that was it. I was hoping that he didn't come in there. But the interesting thing, at the same time while this was happening, there was a Filipino woman who was watching. Pay attention, come a little closer. There was a Filipino woman who was watching the same interaction that I was watching. I was at this side of the table, the right-hand side. She was on the left-hand side of the table. And she was eating her food. She looked at me and shook her head. I was like, we were in amusement and dismay. Because I knew the Filipino woman knew not to do that to her man in public. Me and her said a whole paragraph between each other when this whole interaction took place. Because she understood what was going on. She seen the dude's balls jumping, it did like this. It hopped right into the purse. Danielle, you said it, I didn't say it. Yes, we wonder why black men date outside their race. Disrespectful. It's the power of paying the price. Same thing I can get on the men, but I get on the men all the time. I got to say something to these ladies. I got to. You got to. Sisters, pay the price to get into the network of women, of women who appreciate, who honor, who love their men, love their man. You're in the wrong, sir. You pay the price to be where? To be in a whole arena where you having, and I'm gonna have to go there. You guys, you and ladies, you in an arena of other women, y'all having a dick measuring contest. Did y'all hear that? Wait a minute, say that. A whole paragraph just in one look, right? You pay the price, sisters, to be in a group of other women who have a dick measuring contest. And I made to say the word dick. There's a price to pay. There is a price to pay to be in the right network. Do you think this guy might be a good brother, that I would ever do business with that brother, and his wife just took his balls and put it in the purse? Do you ever think I would do business with her? Because if you disrespect your husband, baby girl, you're going to disrespect me. I'm saying all of this because I realize some people do not want to pay the price to be a part of a network. Some women do not want to pay the price to be in the network, to pay the price to be selected into a selective, exclusive group, say for women of women who honor and cherish and love their men and protect their king because they are the queens. And I realize People are comfortable with microwave dinners. They're comfortable with being where they're at because there hasn't been enough pain. I hope you today you guys got something out of that. Because that was, I was floored. Let me read this. Unless you're an athlete or entertainer, most sisters don't want to pay the price to get into a black man's network. Kevin Samuels, buy a dog and die alone.
Execute Order 66.
If more women, because I've seen this Western mindset has creeped over and not just into black women, but other races too, would understand the value that they have of networking with the men that are around them. If you can, for a minute, not be a hyena and put your dick away, do you know the power that would take place when a man and a woman, the yin and the yang, begins to come together? When that network, that family unit becomes together, what rippling effects it would take in place in the kids? Do you understand that? But we have a sickness inside why people don't want to pay the price to be a part of that network or be a part of a network. That sickness is entitlement and an unhealthy appetite of selfishness. There's healthy selfishness and then there's unhealthy selfishness. And it's crippling us all around. As Danielle said, I didn't see it, and she's a woman, and I know she's a woman. I know her from school and from church. We wonder why black men and men are saying, you know what? We out of here. You cute and all, but all we want is peace, a peace, and some sleep. Well, and some more things. We don't got time for it. With that being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. I want you to leave a comment after the video. Leave a comment after the video. This helps the YouTube algorithm, and leave a like. Like what I said, what I shared. Please let it ripple to other people. Shout out to everybody that's listening. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you in here. Thank you for commenting and being a part of it. Thank you so much. It's Eve saying she wants to be like God, authority over her man. Yeah, that's a whole nother, you try to get me open up a whole other can of worms even with that. So yeah, but I want to make sure everybody understand that there is a price that you have to pay to be a part of a network. You're going to pay with money. You're going to pay on multiple levels. On multiple levels. With that being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. When spirituality and the game combines, you have the what? Thinking class. We are a class of individuals, men and women, who decided to think, but also take action. This is why I named it When Spirituality and the Game Combines. And when we define game as strategies, moving the chess pieces from one place to the next. This is Lawrence D. Adams. You already know what it is. We out of here. Peace and beard grease. Rabbits, I'll tell you, everything in the world, you don't want to pay the price to get the man that they really want. Ain't gonna cheat on the man they want, but can't keep the man that they want. I don't understand. Don't understand. Huh. Appreciate you, brother. Blessings. Join us tomorrow. Tomorrow's Jerk Chicken Friday. God Wangan.